Well, good morning. So last month I spoke of using the term coaching for rather than therapy for what I do in the office, because therapy for me often has the connotation there's something wrong with a person, whereas a coach, typically it's not that there's something wrong, but something's not working or how to do it better. And I like that connotation better. And I believe there are sort of four fundamental skills that go into a good relationship. Now, back before when I was coaching, I was always a sort of a fundamental. I stressed the fundamentals. In football, if my guys could block and tackle well, we'd win games. In hockey, skating, passing, checking, shooting. If we did those fundamentals well, we would do well. And I think the same thing is true of relationships. There's four fundamental skills into making a great relationship. The safety, the space between, the safe conversation process, and the imago system. And if couples can handle those well, I think they have a much better chance to have the kind of relationship they truly want. So the first one is safety. And I know it sounds simple, but I do think it's a key component. If I don't feel safe, I'll defend myself. It's 500 years. A part of our brain we share with all animals, birds, fish, mammals, reptiles. They call it the reptilian brain, the lizard brain. It goes back 500 million years, and its basic job is to keep us safe. It asks the question, is it safe or is it dangerous? If it's dangerous, it'll defend itself. It's 500 million years. But think about how relationships are often depicted in our culture, movies, TV, those magazines at the checkout counter, but in real life. But think about it from your old brain point of view. If you attack me or yell at me or don't talk or shut down or make fun of me, what am I going to do except defend myself? You see it everywhere. And all I'm saying doesn't work. So the first things couples have to learn to talk to each other in a safe way, period. Secondly, the space between. Now, typically we think of a relationship as you and you, two people. But I challenge my couples to think of their relationship as the two of them plus the space between them. Because it's a real energy field, isn't it? And you can tell when there's tension. It's either tension-free or it's not. And from a quantum perspective, it fits, because quantum physics, quantum theory tells us that everything in this vast universe of ours mostly is just energy, but it's all connected. It's all in relationship. Atom to atom, molecule to molecule, planet to planet, galaxy to galaxy. And I think that your little relationship is a microcosm of the vast macrocosm. You want to connect, but if you keep putting negativity into the space between, it causes disconnect. All right? So you can't keep putting negativity in the space between, and the flip side of that is to refill that space between the positives with affirmations, appreciations every day. So second skill, couples need to commit to zero negativity in the space between, period. So safety, no negativity in the space between. Now, the safe conversation process. Now think about it, because couples are totally different. I'm sure if you look at your partner, you'll realize that you're different. You won't find anybody more different than Crystal and myself, my wife and I. And so there's going to be stuff to talk about because you're different. And the power show tends to, I'm right, you're wrong. But if I can keep people in the safe conversation process, it ensures safety. And the safe conversation process, we've talked about it, it's the mirroring, the validation, the empathy. And it takes things out of the power struggle. It doesn't make one right and one wrong. You're different. And after working with couples for over 30 years, I know if I can just keep them in the safe conversation process, they'll sort things out. And what I like about it, it's not like a cookie cutter. What might work for one couple might not work for my wife and I. But if we keep talking, we'll figure out what'll work for us. So the third skill is, again, couples have to learn to talk to each other, but in a safe way. And then lastly, the key insight of imago relationship therapy is that couples tend to be partnered with somebody who can't meet their needs, especially at the start. So their key insight was, think about it, as children, your children, my children, me, you, we form an image of the person who loves me, who takes care of me, who meets all my needs. But obviously that imprint or that image, imago is the Latin word for image, is made up of our primary caretakers, but they weren't perfect. Your parents weren't perfect. I'm not perfect, you know. And so inevitably that image or that imago has both positive and negative traits. And again, this is not about blaming parents. All parents do the best they could do, but it's just the way it is. So in the romantic love phase of a relationship, you know, it's the positives. But inevitably the negatives are going to show up. And that sort of leads into the power struggle stage of a relationship. But as long as it remains unconscious, there's going to be conflict. All right? And so for me, knowing who you're partnered with gives couples a chance to grow in areas that they were stunted with growing up. As I stretch to meet my partner's needs, I really am also healing myself because she tends to ask for my weak suit. But if I can stretch and give that to her, I grow too. So it really is a win-win. So I guess the last piece of the puzzle is don't be surprised when your partner asks for your weak suit. And now again, you have to talk about it. Period. So it's not rocket science. There it is. You have it. The 4 key things. It has to be safe. You know, the space between, it's a real energy field. So no negativity in the space between. Use a safe conversation process and recognize that you're probably, especially at the start, partnered with somebody who it's going to be difficult for them to meet their needs, but they can do it if they become conscious. And if you can master those, understand those, and master those 4 skills, I think much better chance to have the kind of relationship you truly want. And Kim, I see you're watching. Happy anniversary the other day. Say hello to Ryan. Cheers. Have a great day.